Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Pro Football edition of Proline. We do 3 Prolines every week, an NFL recap, which we get to on Tuesdays after the last of the games has been played, and we also look ahead to the Thursday night game. We got our college football edition of Proline, where we take a look at a couple of the big games on the Saturday slate, and, of course, our Pro Football edition. And today we've got 2 terrific games. We're going to check out the Eagles and Steelers Keystone State battle. A lot on the line for those 2 teams, and the Broncos and Peyton Manning heading east to Foxborough to face the Patriots. We're going to do it with Chip Chirimbes, Big Al Sports, Jim Feist. We will also hear from our men on the street, Jeff Saad and Fairway Jay. So it's going to be a jam-packed show today. We'll have our Twitter question of the week as well. Before we do anything, though, let's update everybody with what is happening this weekend. Jim, another good NFL result for you, and then topped it off with a Monday night winner on the Bears.
It was a good pro week, Dave. The colleges last week were a little rough, but the pros were awesome, and the pros have been awesome all year long. The colleges have been choppy, but, you know, every once in a while you find a card where you really love the plays that are coming up. And this weekend, I've got 5 college games that I absolutely love. 5 big plays. It's $25 for 5 big plays. And on top of that, included in there, that 5 plays is the college shocker of the year. Plus, when people do call, I want you to check on my NFL parlay. And like I said, I've been doing very well in the pros. So the number to call is 1-866-841-1655. That's 5 big games in college and 2 big games for the parlay on Sunday. So you make sure you get the $25 in to get the 5 big games in college, and then ask about the parlay for Sunday. That's 1-866-841-1655. Dave?
You want to talk about a great record, Big Al's Fortune 500s online. I mean, this is going back years. It's just an outstanding record, and Al's got the exact numbers. And an opportunity for you guys this weekend to get one of these games for a lot less than you'd have to pay online. So pay attention to this offer. Hi, Al.
Hey, thanks, Dave. You know, the Fortune 500 swept the board again last week. Saturday winning with UCLA, Sunday the Miami Dolphins. They haven't lost online yet this season in pro or college football. Going back to 2005 in college football, 85 wins, 41 losses online, NFL 64% lifetime. Got a very special offer, and people are going to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars. These games are sold for $500 online, and they do sell. But if you sign up early, you can get a 5-game package. You get a play going tonight. It's on TV, plus a 3-game parlay for Saturday, plus our Fortune 500 NFL release for Sunday, and you're going to pay just $25. You save at least $475 because it will be sold online. The Fortune 500 release on Sunday for $500. Call toll-free 866-841-1665. That's 866-841-1665. 5 monster winners, including that Fortune 500 play on Sunday, all for just $25.
You know, I had a real good start to the season. I'm very happy with the bottom line so far this year. The interesting thing is I've had lousy luck at the end of games. I had NC State and Baylor last week. I mean, you know, backdoors there. Baylor was the week before in that TV game. But NC State last week, there's no way I should lose that. The worst I should do is push. But nevertheless, it was a terrific weekend overall. Go 6-3 on the college stuff Saturday, and another big day in the NFL on Sunday. Texas Tech, Texas San Antonio on Saturday were big plays that got there easily. NFL on Sunday, you don't see me often lay big points, but my numbers are the Texans just winning that game by whatever they wanted, and they did. And I had the Dolphins for a big play as well. They lost the game in overtime but covered. I'm thrilled with the results so far. And if the luck factor bounces back, could be looking at one of my best years ever. College super total of the year. A lot of adjustments this week by the odds makers based on what happened last Saturday. I don't blame them. It was the highest scoring college football Saturday. I think somebody said going back to 1937. Really? Unbelievable. It was just insane out there. There are some adjustments this week that I believe are going to open the door for some big winners, and one of them really stands out. It's going to be my college super total of the year. It goes this week. You're going to get that along with an NFL parlay on Sunday. That's 3 huge games for $29. Plus, first 100 callers, you're going to get a football TV bonus going tonight. So that's 4 plays in all for just $29. 1-866-896-1629, the number to call. And I'm saving Chip for last because, look, we all know what his reputation is on the big plays, and the biggest of them all goes on Saturday. Chip, the game of the year on Saturday.
Thank you, Dave. Usually you don't give your college game of the year until later on in the season, but this matchup just jumped off the freaking paper on Sunday night when I saw it. The line came up exactly where I wanted it, and you were coming off another big game winning weekend. Hit our major shocker on Saturday, South Florida, major shocker on Sunday with the Rams. We had Washington on big winner over Stanford Thursday and Hawaii on Friday. So we're really on a roll with the big games, and this is the time for you to cash in. If you get in early, you get the Thursday game, the Friday game, Saturday's game of the year, and it's $99. And if you give us a call, we'll give it to you for $25, and it's guaranteed to win. You get the month of October for free. So call me at 866-841-1665. The big game player has been on a roll for 10 weeks going back to preseason. We're hitting our big games. We're in stride. These are games you can step out on. These are games you can play with confidence. Give me a call. This is where I hang my hat on the big game releases. It is my college game of the year. You don't want to miss it. $99 online, or give me a call for $25 with a month's guarantee if it doesn't win at 866-841-1665. Give me a call. You'll be glad you did.
All right, well, let's get into some football. We got two good games to look at. Pittsburgh and Philly matching up. A lot on the line there because they don't like each other, being a Keystone State type of deal. And then the Broncos and Patriots in a little bit. Big Al, let's start with you on the matchup between the Eagles, who come off a very good win, albeit against the team they always beat somehow. They find a way to win against the Giants. Meanwhile, the Steelers, well, I don't know if they're still the Steelers or not. The jury's out on that one.
Yeah, well, maybe the jury's not out on that one. I think the Steelers are definitely, not the team that we're used to. That Philadelphia game last Sunday, guys, I mean, that just also illustrates how important watching the point spread, knowing the market, and getting down at the right time is, because that line opened at -1, and it was there at -1 until Friday early afternoon. And then it began to move to 1.5, to 2.5. And a lot of people got bit Sunday night when they took the Eagles and they didn't win that game. And, it was there. The line at 1 and 1.5 was certainly there for the taking most of the week. So, you got to watch the numbers, and you have to, get down at the right time when you play these games. Anyway, off my soapbox. The Steelers come into this game with a week of rest. They've got a 1-2 record. So even though it's early in the season, it's really a big game for the black and gold. They can't afford to fall to 1-3 on the year, but I'm really not sure I want to take Pittsburgh here. NFL home favorites with a 1-2 record are a dismal 39-60 against the spread since 1980. Last week, such teams went 1-4 against the spread, with Detroit, Jacksonville, Green Bay, and Tampa Bay all biting the dust. On the other hand, the home team has dominated this series. It's covered 6 of 7. The number here is kind of on that 3.5 range, and that's really going to determine my play in this game. At -3, I'd lean to Pittsburgh. At 3.5, I'd have to back away from the game.
Chip, one thing that jumped out to me in this game, it's been jumping out to me since before the season started. The Steelers' defense is more reputation than reality at this point. It's just not that good a defense anymore. It's gotten old, and to be honest with you, I think some of the schemes have been figured out by opposing offenses. And with Philly coming off a pretty good offensive performance when it counted on Sunday night, I think they're going to score here. I also think Pittsburgh's going to find a way to get their share of points in this game. Personally, I think the over is the way to go in this game. How about you?
Well, I think what Al said about it, the number being at 3.5 makes this particularly tough. The Steelers, after a straight-up loss, have covered 9 straight times. So you're looking for them to bounce back off with a extra week to prepare. I'm not impressed with Michael Vick or the Philadelphia offense. I know they came through and beat the Giants, but throughout that entire contest, I thought the Giants looked like the better football team. And, we're talking about the Steeler defense. Polamalu's in and out. He's not playing again. He missed the last 2 games, and he is such a vital cog to their defense. So, Dave, you may have it right here about this game going over the total. Roethlisberger's 8 TDs, only 1 INT, and, there are a lot of explosive weapons on the Eagles' offense if they can ever put it together. Vick's got to control the ball, and he's got to be able to keep command of the ball and not give it up on turnovers, and we'll see what happens. I know the Steelers are going to try and knock him around a bit, but Dave, I think you might be right. I'd look for this game to go over the total.
Jim? You always, are you getting involved in the total on this one? Because you usually get a pretty good opinion on over and unders.
You know, it's a little confusing on this game. Of course, I have had some great success with totals, but one of the problems with this game is the injury issue. With Polamalu and Harrison, and generally overall the Pittsburgh defense not playing up to what we consider Pittsburgh-style defense, the normal slant here would probably be to play the under. I mean, Philadelphia hasn't been that great on offense all year long, and coming off a very big emotional win over the Giants the other night, a game where I actually thought the Giants outcoached themselves. I didn't like the way they played at the end of the game. I think they needed to put themselves in better position for a field goal. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point here is this is not the old Steelers, and somebody had mentioned that earlier. This is a different club. They're getting older. They're injured a couple key spots. James Harrison and Troy Polamalu are major players, and neither one of them, even if they played, they're not totally healthy. Roethlisberger is Roethlisberger. He's excellent. He gets a lot of. Vic is very talented. Vic, I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles have more talent than most teams in football. They just don't put it together, and Vic has had a disappointing year. Although this team is 3-1, they've only won their games by a total of 4 points. And the one time they did go on the road and lose was at Arizona, and they got clubbed in that game. Normally, I would say I like the under in this game, but because the defense is been playing so poorly for Pittsburgh, I'm kind of a little bit wishy-washy on it. I don't have a bet on the game. I have not played the game, and I probably won't.
All right, before we get to our question of the week, and this is right up Al's alley, so definitely looking forward to getting maybe some data on this. Before we get to that, though, let's check in with our man in the street, Jeff Saad from LDSS. Jeff, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. Have a free total coming up, but first, my college underdog game of the year goes Saturday. You can get that monster shocker along with NFL triple header on Sunday, plus a bonus TV winner going tonight. All 5 plays, just $20 from LVSS. Just call 1-866-575-8916. That's 1-866-575-8916. Your free total from Week 5, the Packers at the Colts. The Colts upgraded the offense in the offseason with quarterback Andrew Luck, and they've been very good with 267 yards passing per game. But this defense is awful, like last year, with little talent or depth. 25th in run defense, while the pass defense allows 231 yards per game. And this is no ordinary offense they're facing in Green Bay and QB Aaron Rodgers. The Colts are off a bye week, but with this game indoors, it's a huge plus for the Packers and their high-octane air attack. The over is 57-28-2, the last 87 Packer games versus a team with a losing record. Play the Packers and Colts to go over the total in Week 5. Once again, my college underdog game of the year goes on Saturday. You get that monster shocker along with NFL triple header on Sunday, plus a bonus TV winner going tonight. All 5 plays, just $20 from LVSS. Call 1-866-575-8916. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Have a great weekend once again. I alluded to something being a really good question for Al, because when it comes to data, there is nobody in our business who has more than Big Al. And this is, I'm curious to find out if there are any particular trends that do stand out. This is a question from Blaine Simmons of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I should point out, you want to follow us on Twitter at Jim Feist Sports or Facebook at Proline TV. And if we use your question on the show, you put in a drawing to win $100 worth of plays from any handicapper of your choice. This is Blaine Simmons, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. What stands out about NFL bye weeks for professional handicappers? So have there been any definitive trends coming out of bye weeks that bettors should be aware of, Al?
Well, yes. The answer is definitely yes. What you want to do, or what I like to do, is bet on winless teams. Now, they have to be 0-3 or worse. I don't care if a team is, 0-2, or sometimes you had teams have bye weeks early in the year back when there were, uneven teams, or odd number of teams. But if a team's 0-3 or worse, and they're not playing a similarly, winless team that's also rested. These teams are 27-11 against the spread going back to 1980. That's the big thing that I look for. Teams coming off the bye week that haven't yet won a game really play well, especially when they're an underdog. I think they're I actually think they're underwater as a favorite. It might be 2-3 as a favorite and 25-8 as underdogs. So that we don't have that situation this week, but you get it from time to time, and that's what I look for.
And beyond that,
Dave, I'd like to add something to that conversation a little bit. I didn't dig this up myself, but I heard someone else talking about it. Last week, there were 4 teams that heading into this week that were looking at a bye coming up. And this is about going into the bye week, not coming out of the bye week. Dallas, Detroit, Oakland, and Tampa. Now, they all have one thing in common besides going into a bye week, which they are this week, is that they all lost and didn't cover. And so far this year, I believe, and I haven't substantiated this, I think there's been 6 teams that have been planning to go into a bye week, and every one of them have lost. Now, Al, I know you do, Dave pointed out, you do more stats on this kind of thing than most of us do. Have you seen that type of pattern before?
It's irrelevant long term.
Okay.
It's not something that wins or loses. That's exactly right.
6-0 right now because Pittsburgh and Indianapolis lost the week before, Jim. Those were the 2 that had the bye last week. And something to look forward to. Maybe it's going to hold up the trend for the year.
I don't know why this would be the case, but it is happening right now. I don't know what the reason is.
It's a small sample size.
Yeah, that's definitely a real small sample size. And if it's more than a small sample size, the odds makers will definitely adjust. They always do. All right, before we get to the Broncos and Patriots, let's head to the streets again. Our man on the street is Fairway Jay. He's got a free play for Saturday, Jay.
Thanks, Dave. I've got a free pick coming up in the Penn State Northwestern game on Saturday. But first, you can join me through Monday Night Football for $20 this week. It includes a TV winner going tonight, a Saturday college parlay, and Sunday's NFL Interconference Game of the Month. We were 5-1 last Sunday in NFL action. We'll include the Monday Night Football game, 5 big plays, including the Game of the Month in NFL, for just $20. Call 1-866-896-1627. Let's get to that free play tonight in Big Ten action. Northwestern comes into this Big Ten battle at Penn State 5-0, both straight up and against the spread. After a convincing win last week over Indiana, they rolled up over 700 yards of offense. And if you haven't seen the Wildcats play yet this season, you're about to see one of the most dynamic playmakers in the conference. As Kane Coulter, a former quarterback, now playing the slot receiver, rushed for 4 touchdowns and caught 9 more passes for over 130 yards last week. Northwestern's offense is just getting started and expect them to have success here against Penn State. The Nittany Lions have won 3 straight games following an emotional 35-7 win at Illinois last week, but they're going to have trouble containing this Northwestern dynamic attack. Northwestern, the surprise team, expect them to go to 6-0, an outright underdog win, no surprise. We'll take Northwestern as your free play on Saturday. And be sure to check back and call the office for top plays this week. 1-866-896-1627, just $20 through the weekend.
All right, thank you, sir. Knock 'em dead this weekend. Broncos and Patriots. We talked about an over. What I think might go over in the first game, Eagles and Steelers. I think this game is flying over the total. Peyton Manning is back. Look, he was shaking off some rust. His arm strength, it's probably down a little bit from where it was prior to the injury. But when he was never a big arm guy anyway. Peyton Manning is just a great quarterback, is what he is. He's not the guy you talk about when you talk about, holy mackerel, you see that 70 yards on the fly. He doesn't do that. But he's back to reading and reacting to what he's seeing in front of him about as well as anybody. And I know the Oakland Raiders are not a particularly good football team. They were actually carved up by Manning last week. Not like he's faced the best defense in the world this weekend either. I know they slowed Buffalo down in the second half, but the Patriots, they still got defensive issues in this football team. Meanwhile, the Patriots keep on uncovering weapons on offense. They suddenly have found a big running game with all of a sudden they blanked out on the why am I blanking out on the running back? Ridley, thank you. And of course, the Bolden kid, who came from out of nowhere last week to go for an absolutely huge game. It's a free agent running back. If they're balancing their offense, look out. Because this was the one thing you had, maybe, the one thing you could game plan for with New England was, well, they're going to throw the ball 50 times a game because they can't run. Now they can. And that makes Brady even more dangerous. Brandon Lloyd is just kind of starting to get started in this offense as the deep threat. Now they're starting to use Welker a little more. They're just loaded offensively. And I think you're going to see the Patriots once again getting into some really high-scoring games. Very tough at the NFL level. Tougher for the odds makers to adjust here because there's really only so high you can go in an NFL game, or just by numbers crunches, you'll get flooded with action on the other side, and they really don't want to do that. That's, again, the odds makers aren't offering predictions on the game. They're offering numbers that at least are not going to create ridiculous jeopardies for them on one side or the other if they can pull it off. I don't know if they're going to be able to with the Broncos and Patriots. I think that a lot of people will bet the over in this game. I think the number will keep going up on this game as we approach game time, and barring some bizarre weather that shows up, which probably is not going to happen at this time of year anyway. I think you got an over here. Chip?
I can't dispute that, Dave. If you look at the numbers, you'll understand why. I mean, the over's 9-4-1 in the last 14 meetings. The over's won 30 of the last 42 Patriot contests. You got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks going head-to-head. Manning, except for that first quarter in Atlanta when he gave up 3 interceptions, has thrown 8 touchdown passes and no INTs other than that first period against the Falcons. And Brady, of course, has got like 8 TDs and only 1 interception. These are 2 great quarterbacks that know how to move the ball with the newfound running game that the Patriots have with Ridley and this other back who came out of nowhere, like you said, had 130 yards last week. I'm with you. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon here and feel that this game is destined to go over the total. I mean, the quarterbacking, the expertise of these 2 guys is brilliant, and they're both first-round Hall of Famers. There's no question about it. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. It's going to be pretty exciting, and I don't know if the points are going to come into play, but I think it goes over the total.
How about you, Jim?
Well, I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. I think this is a 60-point game minimum. The line's sitting out there at 51.5, 52. It's too low now. I will say this. I've checked the weather. It's early in the week, but there's rain hitting the East Coast, and you don't know how bad that will be by the time game time because we're talking about Sunday games here. But it's something to be concerned about. It wouldn't slow me down too much and actually might increase my plays if the weather was rain but not a lot of wind, and if the line started to come down because the bettors came in and got afraid of the rain. These 2 guys know how to move the football. There's a tremendous history between Brady and Manning. We can't forget that last year the Patriots played Denver twice, and the first time they beat them 41-23. Second time was 45-10. That's when Denver had the fake quarterback named Tim Tebow. that only Rex Ryan could still love. But be that as it may, this is a real quarterback, and the Patriots are tough. I mean, obviously what they did last week against Buffalo, but then again, that's Buffalo. And they're one of the most self-destructive teams in football. So you have to be a little careful, but Broncos played the Raiders. There's a lot of bad teams in football, and the Raiders and Buffalo are 2 of them. So you can't take too much off of that. And these are 2 A teams, or at least B-plus teams, facing each other. But I like the over. I think I think the number at 6.5, 7 might be a little too high. Against quality opposition like this, but I'm not venturing forward yet on that, but I am definitely ventured forward on the total.
Al, where do you stand?
Well, I'm going to venture forward on New England. Both the Patriots and Broncos have 2-2 records, but New England is a mere 5 points away from a 4-0 record. It lost by 1 point at Baltimore, by 2 points at home to Arizona. Last week, the Patriots looked terrific in Buffalo. They blew out the Bills by 24 points while Denver annihilated Oakland 37-6. But if you go back to 2005, NFL road teams off a 23-point or greater win, those teams are 16-37 against the spread when they're matched up against an opponent off a straight-up and ATS win. I just don't want any part of Denver here, and I'm definitely not going to step in front of New England. So I'm going to take the Patriots. Also, when in the last segment when we had the question of the week, Jim brought up that situation. I did have time to plug it into my database to get the exact numbers, and I did say it was irrelevant. The record going back to 1980, 376 and 378. Doesn't get much more irrelevant than that.
Good point. Thanks for doing that. Appreciate it.
So it's a good trend for the bookmaker then, because they can just sit back and collect the vig on that one. All right.
That's right.
Let's get to some best bets. It could be a game we talked about or something else that you might want to mention. Big Al, let's start with you this time and let everybody know about the high roller Fortune 500 that they're not going to have to pay the big bucks for this weekend.
Well, that's the best bet, of course. My best bet here for the show, we're going to take the New England Patriots minus the points. High roller 500 club plays, again, perfect last week online. UCLA Saturday, Miami Dolphins Sunday, going back to 2005 online, 85 wins, 41 losses in college, 64% pro football. Here's the offer, guys. 5 plays if you sign up tonight. You get a TV winner tonight plus 3 games for Saturday and then Sunday, the NFL Fortune 500 Club play. That'll be sold for $500 online. All 5 plays, when you call right now, just $25. Call 866-841-1665. That's 866-841-1665.
I'm going to go with the over in the Broncos and Patriots. A caveat, and Jim mentioned it, there is some weather possibly going to be showing itself in this game. Rain doesn't particularly bother me. Wind does, especially with teams that like to throw the football. So, check the weather forecast before you get involved. You can wait on this. It might cost you a half point if you wait, but better safe than sorry on that. I don't want to play over if suddenly I find out, that's 15-mile-an-hour winds. That can screw that up in a hurry. So until there's a good forecast with wind conditions, in my own pocket, I'll be quiet for a little bit, but likely I'll be out there on the over in the Broncos Patriots, and I'll make him the best bet for the show. Now, I do have a really big total on Saturday in the colleges. This is a game I really like, and I've already checked the weather, and it won't be a factor here. So, college super total of the year going on Saturday. I'm not going to sit here and brag about how good it's been in September. It was that good. It's been a tremendous month, even with kind of bad luck in the close games, the games that were decided at the finish. So I'm real happy with the results so far. The big game on Saturday, college super total of the year, and NFL parlay on Sunday. That's 3 huge games for $29. If you're one of the first 100 in, you get a football TV bonus going tonight. So that's 4 plays in all. 1-866-896-1629. That's 1-866-896-1629. Jim, shocker of the year was or is the big deal this weekend for you.
Well, absolutely, Dave. It's like all of us. We look for those special spots where things will happen that nobody quite expects to happen. And I have one of those in college. I actually have 5 big plays in college for $25, and capped off with my shocker of the year included in that. Plus, on Sunday, I have an NFL parlay. So for the $25, you get all the college plays. And make sure you ask about the parlay on Sunday. Last week I had the Rams a straight-up winner and the Bears a straight-up winner. Both of those were underdogs. This week we got the shocker and 4 other games on Saturday. And make sure you ask about the NFL parlay on Sunday. The number is 1-866-841-1655. As far as my best bet, Dave, I'm along with you with this. I like Denver and New England to go over the total. I'm going to keep my eye on the weather. I know that there's moisture in the area, but it doesn't look that bad right now. I just think we're looking at a game in the 60s.
Well, Chip, I know there are some people who, either don't want to, whatever. They can't sign up with services for full seasons and stuff like that. What they do is they wait for a top handicapper to come out with this one really big game, and they just jump all over it. Well, that for you, would be this weekend. We all know Chip's record in big games. It's as good as it gets. And this is the Saturday that the big game players want to be on what Chip's going. Or Chip's got going, I should say.
Thanks, Dave. You know, I did struggle on Saturday and Sunday except for my big games. The major shocker hit Saturday, major shocker hit Sunday. I had a game of the year win Sunday night. Now, when I looked at this board on Sunday night and I saw the college matchup, this game just jumped off the sheet at me, and I couldn't wait. It is my college game of the year, and I have a tremendous offer for everyone on this game. It is $99 online. But if you call our offices, not only can you get it for $25 along with Thursday night's winner and Friday's winner and the rest of the weekend, but I'm giving a guarantee. If I don't win this game, you get the entire month of October absolutely free. This is a deal beyond comprehension. You can't go wrong here for $25 by calling 866-841-1665. You get a month's guarantee. You get my college game of the year and all that goes with it, all the trimmings. Big game winners from the big game players. This is a game you can step out on. This is a game you can play with confidence. Give the big game player a chance to win for you, and you'll win for yourselves. Give me a call. You'll be glad you did at 866-841-1665. Now, like Dave and Jim, you know, if the winds are 15 miles an hour, Jim, it's like trying to hit a 7-iron 165 yards. You know what's going to happen. It's going to drift. And I need strokes from all you guys nowadays. But on that field, I don't see how this game stays under the total between the Patriots and the Broncos. I'm going to play that New England-Denver game to go over the total, regardless of what the weather is.
All right. Going to be a good weekend, everybody. We're all in pretty good form and chance to make some money. So take advantage of these offers and get your bookmaker on the run this weekend. It's a lot more fun that way. We'll come back on Tuesday. That'll be the next edition of Proline. Jim and myself and Fairway J, in all likelihood, it'll be along as well. We'll recap what took place this weekend in the NFL, and we'll look ahead to next Thursday's game. Plus, we'll have the college football edition as well. We do 3 of these every week, so make sure and bookmark the site and check out these videos on a regular basis. For Jim, Big Al, Chip, and for the guys, Fairway J and Jeff Saad, I'm Dave Cokin. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.